have some idea of what people mean when they say online content or digital course. But when you Google it, which I'm sure you have done, you either get a list of the exact same 11 types of online courses, all copied from each other, or you just get the things that go into a course, like video content and multiple choice quizzes. These are true, sure, but not really that useful for building our intuition about what an online course really is. To build this intuition, I'll be giving you a conceptual framework and providing you with some examples. For the framework, I've been torn. There seem to be two dominant parts of course creation: the overarching structure of the course, and then the strategies that serve as the building blocks to build this structure. The problem is that, like Lego blocks, the same strategy can be used to build different structures. So I could give you a description of each building block and then suggest some blueprints for how to use these to build an online course. The thing is, most of these building blocks are pretty self-explanatory, and the ways in which they can be combined are infinite. Let me give you a quick run-through of the building blocks to show you what I mean. Videos, screencasts, and podcasts are self-explanatory. They contain all the course content that you want your clients to have access to, all the information your clients will need about the topic. Writing can be any form of writing that contains course content. PDF, text lessons, email text explanations, etc. Quizzes and assessments are ways for your clients to engage with the content. And often their function is also for you to check how well your clients have understood what you're trying to explain. Giving your clients challenges to complete or creating a game with rules, points, or rewards also give your clients a way to engage with the content in a slightly less traditional way. Sending an email weekly newsletter, supporting clients with reminders to complete course content assignments, or even adding in interesting tidbits. Building a community between course attendees. These are all ways of supporting your clients in a way that isn't directly related to the course content. These are slightly more passive ways of supporting your clients, whereas coaching and webinars are very active. You're providing support or new information in small groups and often in live settings. I'm sure you can also start guessing how these might be combined. You can imagine a micro-learning course where you give your clients short informational videos and use quizzes to get engagement and build the points and reward system needed for gamification. Or you might want to create, for example, a 30-day challenge course. Then you can stack your building blocks together to make this an impactful experience. Start with the written course materials to explain why and how, and set challenges to get your clients to put it into practice. Reminders are useful to keep people on the straight and narrow, and they can share their progress and victories in the community. A flagship course, on the other hand, is usually big and weighty. You might want to put the time into creating extensive written material and supplementing this with explainer videos. You want to send out an email reminder to let people know what they should focus on this week. Stack on a weekly webinar where you engage with people live, create assessments, mark them, giving feedback and coaching, and finish it off with a community where people can ask questions. But not all courses have straightforward, useful blueprints. An email course, for example, would use email, obviously, but the email is the way in which the course content is communicated. So it would have just one building block in it, written text. A more useful way of thinking about these online courses is looking at why we might want to use certain structures. Hopefully, if I tell you that you use text to create an email course, it should seem pretty obvious. But why are we creating an email course, and how does text help us to achieve this goal? To answer this question, I decided to look at two intersecting continuums: how big a course is and how engaging it is for your clients. The size of a course can be thought of in two ways: how much stuff, i.e. content, is in it, and how much work it will take you as the creator to get it off the ground. How engaging it is related to the size of the client transformation, and also how much continuing input you have to give throughout the running of the course. So a 30-day challenge course might be small. You're only explaining what the client needs to know for this month, and also very engaging. There are clear steps for the client to take, and by the end of the month, they can do something that they couldn't do before. So you don't have to spend a lot of time putting the content together, but you do have to spend time reminding clients to do the daily steps, checking in to make sure everyone is on track, encouraging and celebrating, and pointing out how far everyone has come. The work up front is small, but the continuing work is big. So a 30-day challenge course would go in the top left quadrant. It's small but engaging. The courses in this quadrant are your best bet if you want to grow your business using an online course. It doesn't take a lot of upfront resources, and you spend time nurturing your community. The people who complete a small and engaging course might want to move on to your one-on-one offerings, or you might be able to upsell them to a community or a bigger course. A course that is small and not that engaging might seem quite useless, but actually this is what your lead magnet or initial offering would look like. It's a one-and-done course. You spend a little bit of time creating the course, and once someone is in it, you spend almost no time supporting them. This means that you can charge very little for this course, and perhaps even give it away for free. The time you spend on a lead magnet or initial offering goes into marketing it, increasing the size of your client base. On the other hand, a big, unengaging course is probably what you think of first when you think of an online course. It's this giant flagship course of information with no one on the other end and just you working through content. Ironically, a big unengaging course is probably pretty useless to you as a business owner. It'll be expensive to make and hard to sell. I don't actually even know what to call courses in this category. I've called it a spotlight course, but it's anything that is really information dense, tries to cover like everything that could be covered in this topic without giving any one-on-one or continuing support. So anything on Udemy, for example. And the downside is that it takes a long time to craft, and your clients need to be very disciplined to see any transformation. So for your small business, this is the worst of both worlds, because you don't build an audience and it takes up so much of your time. Eventually, if you like this course creation thing, you might want to move to a big engaging course, but probably only when the course is your entire business. A flagship or cohort-based course is big, so it takes a lot of work to craft, but you're also going to spend a lot of time supporting, coaching, and building community. So your clients get a lot of value and transformation, and they're willing to pay money for that. So it's worth it, but it is a different thing, a different beast. It's a full-time job. I'm guessing that most of you here are trying to augment your existing business with a course. So you can always move to a big, engaging flagship or signature course once you know this course thing works and that people want it. But for now, you'll probably want to spend most of your time on this side of the axis, because I think that's the most impactful space for you. But know that you can always move in this direction as you grow. Now, the time you've been waiting for. Example time. Let's consider two course formats that seem similar but differ on the engagement aspect to illustrate what I mean. The mini course and the introductory course are very similar, and you'd forgive people for using them interchangeably. Both can be used to teach something new, the mini course by focusing on a specific topic or skill designed to be completed in a short amount of time. Both can be used to teach something new by focusing on a specific topic or skill designed to be completed in a short amount of time. They offer a concise way to learn something new or supplement existing knowledge. But the vibe is a little bit different. Generally, the introductory course will contain more information and less engagement. Its aim is to be informative and exhaustive. A mini course tends to be shorter and more punchy. Each section is included for its impact, and the important but boring filler is often left out. You can make a mini course really engaging by creating a specific call to action at the end of each section. For example, an example of how to put the content into action and encouragement to post the result in the friendly community space. A mini course doesn't cover it all, and it sometimes leaves the audience wanting more. This is the first example of a course that I bought. It's a course that aims to teach you how to film great videos with your smartphone. At first glance, it looks like a mini course, punchy and engaging. But when you open the resource, it's actually really overwhelming. There's way more content than I can work through in 14 days. So it picks this niche and tries to get you to expertise in the niche quickly, but it's so big. So on one hand, this is great because I felt like I got a lot of value for my money. But ironically, it's also a bit of a bummer. I actually wanted something small enough to work through in 14 days. My transformation as a smartphone filmmaker has stalled because the inherent promise of the course wasn't met. I can't do this in 2 weeks. There's too much content, and hence I haven't done anything or made any progress in this course in the last 3 months. The next example is this one. It starts off as an email course. You get an email like this every week, and it follows the same structure. It's really engaging and easy to implement. Engagement is created by the clear call to action and the encouragement to reply to the email. The content being shared is really valuable and shared in a really interesting way. But this thing that looked like an email course from the outside actually works like a membership. You pay per month, and when you stop paying, you lose access to the weekly emails. Lastly, I've created 2 sets of templates for subject matter experts to use to create their own online courses. This 30-day challenge template and a mini course template. It makes sense that these are both on the left side of the framework. For both of these, I tried to make the upfront energy required for the expert as small as possible. So I suggest a structure of the content and give suggestions for how to populate it with your own expertise. This is to make the size of the offering as small as possible. I want you to have it up and running in a weekend. Why? Because the value of these offerings are as lead magnets or as ways to build and engage with your audience. So you should keep it as small as possible, as far to the left of the x-axis as possible. And if you want to put more time into it, spend your time moving it up the y-axis to make it more engaging. Hopefully this discussion on the framework of an online course gives you a sense of how I, as a learning experience designer, approach the course creation process. First, we figure out why we're creating a course. What do we want to communicate to clients, i.e. how big will the course be, and what transformation do we want for them? How engaging will the course be? Once that's done, we do a brain dump to see what building blocks we're working with. And then we look at the blueprints for different courses and see how we can take these building blocks and turn them into an online offering. After that, you just fill in what you have and create what you need, and voila, an online course. But don't worry, we'll chat more about that in the next video.